coming off a 13-3 season, making it all the way to the NFC Championship, you'd think they'd have everything figured out, right? That is not the case in this situation. The Vikings went through a total of 3 quarterbacks last year, and none of them under contract. So right now, the Vikings are in a quarterback conundrum. They need to find a quarterback for next season, but who could it be?
First, we got Case Keenum. Case Keenum had the best year of his career. He had just fantastic. He played really well the whole year. 13-3. He started every game but 2 of them. The first game of the season and the game where Bradford tried to come back. Case Keenum, he really did prove himself. He proved himself to be a good NFL quarterback. Now the question is, he was on a 1-year, $2 million deal. He's going to make a lot more than $2 million this upcoming year. And where will he play? The Vikings apparently are not going to franchise tag him, although Spielman kind of disputed that claim earlier. I don't know. I don't think that's wrong. I think they won't franchise tag him. I think it's the right decision. But Case Keenum is definitely a viable option for quarterback next season. How interested the Vikings are in him, or any other team are interested in him, we don't know. There are a lot of other QB needy teams. Vikings are one of them. Case Keenum had the best year of his career. He's due for a big payday. I don't know. What do you think?
I think in this situation, this guy led us all the way to the NFC Championship. No one ever thought this would happen. He stole our hearts, stole my heart. Love this team, play with a passion, but he's not franchise tag money. He's not.
I agree, yeah.
I think we all know this by now.
That Minneapolis Miracle.
The Minneapolis Miracle will always live. Oh my God, what a throw. What a play. What a mistake. But anyways,
Everything about that was
of course.
great.
But, I think he's a great quarterback. I think he could end up starting for another team, or even our team. We're not out of it, but franchise tag money should be out of the equation. I could see Case Keenum signing anywhere between 15 to 20 million on maybe a 3 to 4 year deal. It's probably only be a little bit of guaranteed money, but I think Case Keenum should definitely find a place where he's going to be able to start and continue going and quit being a journeyman. Time to step up for a team. I think he deserves it as well.
Yeah, definitely more than a journeyman at this point. Case Keenum, great year. Teddy Bridgewater, here's my guy. I love Teddy Bridgewater. I couldn't wait to see him come back. That injury he had was devastating. He didn't deserve that. He's one of those nicest guys in the world. You just hate to see that happen to anybody, especially somebody like Teddy Bridgewater. And after the year he had before, too, come off an 11-5 year, win the division, lose a playoff game because of Blair Walsh missing it wide left. And here's Teddy Bridgewater. He's making strides in preseason. He's looking better and better. We have a franchise quarterback for the first time, maybe ever. The Vikings have really never had franchise. Fran Tarkenton. That's it. Fran Tarkenton is the only franchise quarterback this team has really ever had. And Teddy Bridgewater. Dante Culpepper, franchise. Maybe. You can make that argument. Dante Culpepper. So Dante Culpepper and Fran Tarkenton, and that's it for this team. No franchise quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater was going to be that guy. He was going to be the franchise quarterback. He was going to lead this team to the promised land, and he has that injury. It's just devastating. Now, we don't really know where his health's at. He was good enough to come back. We don't know how much mobility he has, if he's going to be able to take hits, if he's going to be able to move around in the pocket. We just don't know. We don't know where he's at. And it's kind of scary to give a 4 or 5 year contract to a guy you don't know where his knee's at. But I would really, really want to see Teddy back if we can make it happen.
Oh, we all want to see that happen. We all want to see Bridgewater come out with the kid we drafted. Franchise. Boom. We all thought right there. Franchise quarterback. Those playoffs. Franchise. Right there. Boom. That's what we all thought. Fortunately, it's going to come down to a business decision for the Minnesota Vikings. We have a defense right now. There's only big windows for defenses, and we're in a window right now with our defense.
Good defense.
A great defense. We saw that during the season, minus the NFC Championship game, of course. But, if we want to win, Teddy Bridgewater, is he our guy? I would not mind bringing him back, but I would not want to make him the outright starter until he earned his position on this team back. We're going to welcome him with open arms, but he's going to have to put up his hands and throw up a fight.
The one thing about Teddy Bridgewater is it's a safe decision for management. There's no Vikings fan that's going to be like, oh, we signed Teddy Bridgewater. I'm
Right.
angry,
Yep.
you know, even if he bombs, because he's just such a likable guy. It'll be hard to see him go anywhere else if that happens. Sam Bradford, the way he started out this year, it was wow. We're signing this guy long term. It's gonna happen, you know. He's 30 years old. He's got probably 30 to 35 are some of the best years for a quarterback, especially a pocket passer like Sam Bradford. But his knee again. I mean, he's had so many knee surgeries. Had to have another one, you know. He just can't stay healthy for whatever reason. His knees are just terrible. And I don't know if we can sign a guy to even a 3-year contract or, you know, maybe a 1 year, but you have a window for a Super Bowl now, and you can't be thinking the whole time, oh, we need our quarterback not to have a season-ending knee injury. You can't keep worrying about that, you know, every single game. Every single hit Sam Bradford takes, you just look and cringe because you don't want to see his knee again, you know? So I don't know if I see Sam Bradford coming back ever. And Dave Filippo, he does like Sam Bradford, but he did say he doesn't want his quarterback to be a stick in the mud, and Sam Bradford is kind of a stick in the mud.
Yeah, stick in the mud, you know. It's just those knees. We gotta bless all the knees in Minnesota. Honestly, anything injury Minnesota related, it's gonna be the knees, right? Dalvin Cook, Adrian Peterson, Teddy Bridgewater, and now Sam Bradford. Again, he's had a career of injuries, very spotty record. The Derrick Rose of the NFL. You could say that he had a very bright former number 1 overall pick. People always forget about that. He was a number 1 overall pick, coming great out of Oklahoma. He looked like a star, but of course these injuries have just sadly damaged his career. He could have been so much more. Only 30 years old still. Do I see him making a comeback? Probably not. Just those injuries. I don't know if any team's going to make a risk on him. I could see him signing a cheap contract. It could be for us, but I most likely see him as a backup or competing for a job on another team next year.
Yeah, I think he goes to a team next year like Denver or Cleveland or the Jets, somewhere they'll take a risk on him. I mean, Denver, if they can't land Kirk Cousins, they'll go for anybody. Trevor Siemian and Brock Osweiler. I mean, they need something new. So Sam Bradford's certainly an improvement. Yeah, Paxton Lynch. What a bust, you know. They need something. And Cleveland will go for anything for a win at this point, you know. So Kirk Cousins.
Oh, baby.
Who would have thought that the Vikings were interested in Kirk Cousins? You know, with the way Sam Bradford looked at the beginning of this year, it looked like he was destined to become the quarterback of the future. Kirk Cousins, I thought Kirk Cousins was going to get signed. They kept franchise tagging him every single year, and he kept proving he's a good quarterback. He can throw for 4,000 yards every year. He can throw for over 25 touchdowns every year. He's got a good completion percentage. Doesn't make that many mistakes. People kind of over-exaggerate how many mistakes he makes. I mean, he only had 13 interceptions this year. That's not an interception a game. That's pretty good. And considering how bad his offensive line was, he beat Seattle with no starting offensive lineman. He's got no receiver. Terrell Pryor is one of his best wide receivers. Jordan Reed was hurt most of the year. The defense was terrible. Kirk Cousins was not in a good situation. And now he's a free agent. He can go to a team like Minnesota with a good roster, with a pretty good offensive line, young running back who's going to be coming back, 2 super good wide receivers, and the defense. He's not going to have to put up all that many points. Kirk Cousins could take the Vikings over the top, and that's why, as a Vikings fan, I'm really interested in seeing if we can land this guy. It would be pretty amazing. I think he makes us certainly in contention for a Super Bowl every year, and I think we sign Kirk Cousins, we got a good chance to win one.
Yes, I certainly think Washington missed out on the opportunity with Kirk Cousins what they could have. When they drafted Robert Griffin, they drafted Kirk Cousins thinking, well, why the heck are you drafting Kirk Cousins? Well, they saw something most of us did not. Coming out of Kansas State, prime quarterback. Very solid, 3rd, 4th rounder, and
Saved him from the RG3.
Oh, yes. That's the biggest cushion I've seen Kirk Cousins just step up for a one-year wonder, Robert Griffin III. That was a disaster. And Washington has been trying to build around...
knee injuries.
Oh, knee injuries for sure. Kirk Cousins has just been trying to make it work in Washington. Washington has been trying to make it work for years. They've been trying to get him players who will help him win. You know, they went all over the board with players like Josh Norman, Terrell Pryor,
None of them panning out.
No, of course none of them ended up panning out.
Terrell Pryor.
Oh, Terrell.
Terrible.
Terrell Pryor, I mean, oh, God. But anyways, back to what I was saying about Kirk Cousins, this is a guy who wants a Super Bowl ring. He's been saying that. He wants to win.
Yeah.
However, what's it going to cost Kirk Cousins? Money or rings? Because in this situation, the Vikings want him. Everyone knows that. The Vikings are giving an offer. However, the Jets have come up with this crazy offer. It would break the bank. It'd be the biggest in NFL history. Cleveland might be gunning for this guy too. You never know. There's Denver. They want Denver. Yep. I don't want to really throw Arizona in the mix, but
I think Arizona's basically saying
Okay.
they're out right now
I
because they don't have the cap.
I could agree with that. Sure. But at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins, will it be us who's going to give you, a decent deal, or is it going to be a New York Jets who's going to throw all the money you want at you? And, it depends. I'd love a huge contract where I'm getting over $30 million a year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want a Super Bowl ring. That'd be pretty cool. And the Vikings have a team that can do that. They're just missing that one piece. That one half-decent quarterback who can help them lead them to victory.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The money is going to be an interesting thing because we don't know how much Kirk Cousins wants. My guess is he's going to want to be the highest paid player in the league. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is the highest paid player in the league right now. How many games has he played? 5?
Oh my God.
He played 5 games.
I think that San Francisco was delusional when they signed that.
I mean, I understand it because he looked pretty darn good. He looks like he's going to be a franchise quarterback. Looks like he's going to be really good. But Kirk Cousins has proven himself more than Jimmy Garoppolo. At this point, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins on my team than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Certainly.
I think he's more talented at this point. I think he's been in the league longer. He's just got more experience. And you talk about the Jets and the Browns. Both of them have a ton of cap, especially the Browns, and they may throw a whole bunch of money at his way. But does he want to go to the Browns? He's talking about Super Bowl. Browns did not win a game. They're the second team ever to go 0-16. That's only happened twice. So I don't see him going there because they're more than a quarterback away from any kind of contention. Yep. The New York Jets were a little better. Josh McCown had the best year of his career at whatever 39-40 he is this year, and they got some talent. And they cut Wilkerson. They just cut him today. It looks like they're trying to make even a little more cap. So maybe they will. Maybe they'll offer him something ridiculous. Maybe they'll offer him $30+ million a year with it all guaranteed. But would he take maybe $31 million a year from the Jets with it all guaranteed, or would he rather take $29 million a year and have a legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl for the next 5 years? And I would have to guess that those couple, maybe $2 million a year is not going to matter that much, especially for a guy who's been franchise tagged the last 2 years, made a ton of money. I think he would rather come win, and either Denver or Minnesota are by far the best 2 options for that. We don't have that John Elway edge.
No.
John Elway is going to be recruiting hard, so I don't know. I don't know what happens with this. It'll be interesting.
Certainly. It'll be very interesting. All right, so now it's time for predictions. What's my hot take? It's going to be a really hot take. You heard it here first on this video, from this channel, from me personally. The Vikings will sign Case Keenum, and we will, with that Rick Spielman magic in the draft, we will get Lamar Jackson on our team. I know it's crazy, but anything can happen in the draft. We've seen that Rick Spielman. He's pulled up crazy players before. I think this is going to go down.
That's interesting. Case Keenum being signed, that's pretty realistic. I could see that happening. Lamar Jackson, I don't think is going to happen. I don't think we're trading up in the draft. I mean, we do have all these 6th round picks now we can trade if we can throw our way up there, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see why. I mean, when you got other options, when you got Sam Bradford and Teddy Bridgewater, and if you could sign Teddy Bridgewater in Case Keenum, I think that would make a little more sense. But I do like Lamar Jackson coming out. I think he's going to be I think he's a really talented kid. I think he's going to be really good. I just don't see him coming to Minnesota. I think maybe Arizona trades up for him. We'll see. Maybe the Jets take him. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where that all ends up going. I'm going to say it. The Vikings are going to close the deal. They're going to sign Kirk Cousins. They're going to pay him. He will be the highest paid player in the NFL, and he will be a Minnesota Viking come 2018. I think he's the one piece the Vikings need, just that middle of the pack quarterback, top, between the top 10 and 15 kind of quarterback. That will be more than enough to get the Vikings. I mean, Case Keenum was, obviously everything's Jeff Fisher's fault. I mean, Nick Foles was terrible. Case Keenum was terrible. Jared Goff's the #1 overall pick. He can't throw a pass under Jeff Fisher. Comes around this year, and the guy's amazing. So Jeff Fisher ruined all these quarterbacks, but Case Keenum had not remotely shown what he had shown this last year. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up that kind of play. I hope he can. I like Case Keenum. I'm a fan. That Minneapolis Miracle is one of the greatest moments of my life. But we're going to have to see. I don't know if we're ready to do it. I think we're going to pull the trigger on Kirk Cousins because I think Spielman, I think with the Wilfs, I think Zimmer, I think they all realize how close this team is. This defense is ready. The offense is ready. And all they need is that one piece. And I think Kirk Cousins is the deal. And I think they pull the trigger on him.
That's something I can certainly look at. You could even see a Kirk Cousins, Teddy Bridgewater mini happening. You never know. I think all these 4 quarterbacks are still in contention. I have a much faith in the front office. And I personally believe they will be making the right decision on whoever. Slick Rick. I can agree. What were your thoughts? What are your thoughts on these 4 quarterbacks who are potential Vikings players? Please leave your comments down below so we can have a discussion down there. Also, come join our Reddit page, r-minisports, for extensive conversations. You can post what you want in there. It's all a good time. Also, be lookout for our Twitter, @minisports5. Thank you for watching.